Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Bertrude, and this big, bold, beautiful behemoth you see before you is known as the Mass Master. Let's take a look at him. He's a level 200 build. We've got 69 Vigour, 45 Endurance, 69 Strength, 45 Intelligence. We've got the Magic tier to boost our magic attacks, which will benefit our weapons, and the Opaline Hard tier for the damage negation. And here's a quick look at the armour and talismans we're using on the build. The concept for this build is pretty straightforward. We're just using all of the strength based gravitational weapons, and we've also got the jar cannon as well as the Clean Rot Knight's heavy sword. And that's the build guys. As I said, it's pretty straightforward, but it's a really strong build. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content, but it's time for you lot to sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Okie dokie guys, welcome back to the channel. Mass by name, mass by nature. It's the Mass Master. And this build simply uses all of the strength based gravitational weapons. I'm pretty sure these are all of the gravitational based weapons in the game, minus the Bastard Stars and the Wings of Astal. I think you could definitely class those two weapons of gravity weapons, but I'm pretty sure there's no others that we're missing. They're all pretty much strength based, so they all suit the build. I was thinking about maybe adjusting the theme of the build slightly, maybe adjusting some stats. I'm not sure what the stat allocations are off the top of my head for the Bastard Stars and the Wings of Astal. Maybe they would fit on the build, but they kind of don't fit the theme of the weapons. All of the weapons on this one are strength based, and I'm pretty sure those other two are more dex based. I might be wrong. Maybe I'll add them in the future, but for now at least, I'm happy just to use all of the gravity weapons that are on this build. They all work together really well and they all benefit the particular playstyle that this build brings. And we get a nice win in our first invasion. Look at this white mask user on his knees, he's just fading away there. Just take your white mask off, dude, you look like an absolute noggin. Take that white mask off your head, you look absolutely ridiculous, sunshine. You deserve everything you get, just take it off. Take it off, you look ridiculous. Anyway guys, you saw in that first invasion we was using the Falling Star Beastjaw in the second weapon slot, and that is a tactic I like to use on this build. I like to start the invasions with some of the lighter weapons, so it's usually going to be the Onyx Lord's Greatsword, the Meteoric Ore Blade Katanas, or the Alabaster Lord's Greatsword. I have those in my first weapon slot. As you can see in this invasion, we're using the Greatsword, the Alabaster Lord's Sword. We start off with that in our first weapon slot, and then I like to keep the heavier weapons in our second weapon slot, so we can do a quick swap like this to catch him out with some big Ashes of War. So the idea is we do the big damage with the lighter weapons, and then we've always got either the Ruin's Greatsword, the Star Scourge Greatsword, or in this invasion, as you can see, the Falling Star Beastjaw to swap to in our second weapon slot to do some big damage and catch him out. But also we do have the option to do some hard swaps. I don't claim to be the best hard swapper in the world guys, in fact I'm probably the absolute worst hard swapper you've ever seen. But it is something to try to do on this build. You can see now I'm actually using the Ruin's Greatsword, but I did start the invasion with the Falling Star Beastjaw. So in that second weapon slot I like to mix up the three bigger weapons to keep them guessing with the Ashes of War. And they all do really good damage on this build. So as I said, keep mixing it up, keep them guessing. And if we can catch him out with the Ashes of War, it's going to do some major damage. All of the weapons we're using on this build all benefit from our high strength investment. They're all kind of strength based gravity weapons, so they really suit the stats that we're using, and they all add to that high damage output that we're getting. The only exception in the weapon slots that we're using is that we're using the Clean Rot Knight's heavy sword. You will have noticed that in the invasion so far. Obviously that's not a gravity based weapon, but it's heavy infused, so we're still getting the good damage from it with our stats, and that's got the Storm Blade attached to it, and all that weapon does is give me a nice little quick option in my offhand in our left hand weapon slot. And having the Storm Blade on it, it's really good for kind of long range attacks, maybe finishing people off when they're at low health. It's just a really nice little extra tool to have on the build. Yes, it's not gravity based, but It really suits the playstyle and helps us in those big fights when we need it. Now this is a perfect example of why you should always use the jar cannon on your build when you can afford it, guys. Either use the jar cannon or some kind of great bow, but if you're like me and you're the world's worst great bow user, I always prefer the jar cannon. I just find it a little bit easier. Plus everyone uses great bows, so I like to be a bit of a hipster and just be a bit awkward and just be different because, you know, I'm just like that. And I like to use the jar cannon. It's as simple as that, guys. But you can see the first summon there. He just couldn't take any more harassment from the jar cannon, he just jumped off the edge. And now we've just used the Onyx Lord's Greatsword to kill the second summon. The Onyx Lord's Repulsion, that's the Ash of War. And it's a really good Ash of War, it does some big damage. And now it's just me and the host. So this host is in for a world of hurt against the Mass Master. The absolute master of the mass. Just make sure you pronounce the M. I don't want anyone calling him the Ass Master. I mean, he might be the Ass Master, you know. I'm not saying either way, but just pronounce the M, guys. It's the Mass Master. It's it's the Mass Master. Just pronounce the M, and we won't have any issues, will we? But you can see this host. He's got us with that spinny rooney flippity flip. I'm a ninja. Look at me floating in the air, swinging my sword like a crazy man. Melania's great sword. Look at him. He's just a ninja. But it doesn't matter because the Onyx Lord's Repulsion just one-shot him. Oh, get gravitationalised all up on your face by the Mass Master. Not the Ass Master, the Mass Master. But it's not always been easy for the Mass Master, guys. I'm going to tell you a little story about the Mass Master. And it might surprise you. It might make you realise the long and strenuous journey he's had to get to this point where he is now. You see, he weren't always this big, behemoth, big boy you see before you. He used to be quite slim. He was quite skinny. He was quite a normal looking guy. And he was happily married. He was happily married, wife and kids, the full crack, mortgage, family car, all that good stuff. Do you know what I mean? The family life. Really, really happy. But he had a side obsession, guys. He was absolutely obsessed with gravity and the force and mass of the gravitational pull of these weapons. And it was an obsession. He used to study them every night. And then his wife, she just got a little bit jealous and she started saying to him, Master, because that's his name, Master, why aren't you spending more time with me? Why don't you take me out for some nice meals? Why don't you wine and dine me and spend some more time and we'll go to cinemas and do some stuff together? And he said, yeah, Mrs. Master, I will do. I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never came, guys, because he was always just obsessed with the gravitational pull of these weapons. He used to study them late at night. It was a complete and utter obsession. And eventually, Mrs. Master, she just couldn't take it anymore. And she left. She packed her bags and she was gone forever. She just couldn't compete with the obsession that the Mass Master has for the gravitational pull of his weapon collection. She couldn't compete, guys, and she'd had enough. And now the Mass Master realised that his world had just come crashing down, and he went down a deep, deep, dark hole. He turned to drugs and alcohol and junk food, and he started piling on the pounds. He was in a really, really dark place for many years. But eventually, guys, he started realising that the bigger he got, he started creating his own gravitational pull. Do you know what I mean? So he started feeling at one with his weapons. And ever so slowly, he started to get himself together and pull himself out of that deep, dark hole that he was in. He started to look at himself in the mirror every day and say, yeah, I'm a big, round, big, heavy boy. And I've got my own gravitational field because I'm that big, bold and beautiful. And I'm going to go out and show the world that the Mass Master is a force to be reckoned with. I'm the Enormodon. I'm the Silverback. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to put this big, heavy armour on. I've got loads of defences and poise, and I'm just going to go out and show the world that big is beautiful. He got himself a new lease on life, and it was time to grab the bull by the horns, go out and start laying the smacketh down on all the people roaming the lands between, and just show them that the Mass Master is back in action. So there you go, guys, that's the story of the Mass Master. He's had a hard one, it's been a long road getting to where he is now, but he really is the best version of himself, and he's causing absolute chaos in the lands between. As you can see, he's fighting these two now, and I think one of these two is light rolling. The guy with the straight sword there, looks like he's light rolling. Get out of the game, it's just ridiculous. I can't stand light rollers, guys. I'm never ever going to accept that light rolling is a good thing. I can't stand it. It's just stupid. It really winds me up. But it is what it is. It's always going to be a thing, I'm sure, unless they change it up again. But I can't see him doing that. I'm just going to have to suck it up, Anna. I'm just going to have to bite my tongue and just crack on. But it doesn't matter because I'm the Mass Master, and the Mass Master can easily handle a light roller, especially when he's playing with a horse like this, who just got absolutely slabonga-dongered all over himself, do you know what I mean? We take the win. We take the win against the horse and his light rolling friend there. Oh, we'll take that all day long. And now check this out, we're in Liurnia against this bull goat's monstrosity. He's got that bull goat set up on, he's got the star fists, and he's got bloodhound step. And he's just playing like really obviously, do you know what I mean? He's very predictable, he's just kind of fading in and fading out with his bloodhound step. He's trying to use all of his poise with that horrible bull goat's armour. He's got the full get up on. But I'm the Mass Master, and I'm using the Alabaster's Lord Sword. And with this one, I'm using the benefits of the big poise, and I'm using the benefits of kind of predicting what this guy's going to do. I'm kind of trying to, if you watch this invasion, I'm baiting him in a lot. I know that he's going to just fade in with that bloodhound step, so I'm putting a couple of fake swings out there. I'm trying to get him to come in, and then I'm poising through his next attack to land a few good hits with the Alabaster's Lord Sword. It's a really good greatsword, this one, especially on this build. It puts out decent damage, and it's just a really unique greatsword, and it's just perfect for this build, obviously being a gravity weapon. I'm a big fan of this one. It's got a similar Ash of War to the Onyx Lord's greatsword and the Meteoric Ore Blades that we're using on this build. They've all got that kind of gravity-based repulsion, gravitas style Ash of War. 3 different variations of it, but they all hit really hard. And yeah, it's just a great sword, guys. It is a great sword, but it's also a great sword. I highly recommend giving it a go if you've never tried it. Now this was a really fun invasion. These two hiding up top, trying to pull a fast one on me there, trying to hit me with a big wizard comet spam as I came around the corner. But I've got that big brain, and I got underneath them, star-scored greatsword, star-caller cry, I grab them down off the shelf, hit them with a second one, and I just absolutely demolished the host. Just get absolutely exploded on. Just get exploded on with the star-caller cry. Good invasion, really quick invasion, but it was super satisfying. Now obviously with this character, guys, I've got a lot of poise. I've got that big chunky armour on, I'm using the Bull Goat's Talisman, and for this character on this occasion, I really am committing to the poise and that whole kind of playstyle where I can get in close and start scrapping at close range and poise through attacks to land my own hits. Now I know I always say don't be a poise slave and don't worry too much about your defences and your poise, just create cool characters and unique playstyles, and that is something I will always stand by. But for this character, you know, the big heavy armour, the poise, it all adds to the character, to the playstyle. It all goes towards the same thing. It's not just piling a load of poise on the build for the sake of it. It kind of all lends itself towards the character that I've created in the Mass Master. I think at high levels, level 200, level 168, anything above that, do you know what I mean? You kind of need some good armour anyway. You do need good defences because everyone's doing massive damage. But I'm just saying, guys, if you're going to use a lot of poise and stuff, still try and make it unique, you know? Try and give it a character, try and give it that unique playstyle, and it just feels much better. But you can see on this invasion now, I'm fighting another big boy here. This one's been like the battle of the behemoths, hasn't it? And we're both left on the ground dead, with the old bucket head there standing over us both. What an absolute brawl that was. Two big, beautiful, round boys just rolling around, swinging the big old swords at each other. Good invasion. Hats off to that other big boy. Big, bold, beautiful brothers. Stand strong, guys. Stand strong. Big is beautiful. We're back in Liurnia against this duo, and I've got this summon spamming the hell out of the Dark Moon Greatsword at me. But watch this. I pull him in with the Alabaster's Lord's Pull. Nice little follow-up attack there. I think he took a hit from the soldier as well. Just damage coming at him from all over the place, and it's a done deal. The summon's dead, and now the host is in an absolute world of trouble. Because he's got me, plus this whole entire army chasing him down. I pull him back in as well with Ridan's Greatsword, so I missed the follow-up explosion, but it's just looking like it's a done deal already for this host. Look at him, he's panicking, he's got everyone after him. Finish him off with the Alabaster's Lord's Pull, does a lot of damage. Get absolutely shredded. Just get massed on. Just look at my mass. Look at the masculine, mastastic, masochistic mass man standing over you. Oh, guys, and this is the last invasion of the video. But look at this. At the time, I fought this guy, and I thought, oh, this is absolutely atrocious. This is just an awful play style. He's spamming me with the bolt of lightning there. He's got the frenzy spear, and he's just like making things absolutely awful for me. He's giving me such a hard time, and I was fuming at this guy at the time, absolutely fuming. I just thought, this is just an awful invasion. But then I watched it back and I was like, is this an awful invasion, or is this just absolute genius on his part? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's clearly just playing this way in this area for a reason. He's really difficult to deal with. So at the time I was kind of annoyed, but watching it back, I think it's kind of pretty good from him. Do you know what I mean? He can't really argue with it too much. It was an interesting one, and yeah, well played. But anyway, guys, as I said, last invasion. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you all on the next one. And the blue showed up there and absolutely destroyed me to end the video.